Scott fucking Mendleson. Oh my God, this guy is so unbelievably. I mean, just look at him. Look at him with his stupid shit-eating grin. He knows he's trolling. He knows he's trolling us. He knows that we will react to it. And damn it if I don't take the bait every time. This fucking Scott Mendleson. Star Wars, not sexism, is to blame for the Ghostbusters sequel. Okay. I mean, why? Why are we bringing Star Wars in? Oh, because that's going to get you clicks, isn't it? What do you have to say? What do you have to say, Scott Mendleson? I'm already prepared to be outraged because of Scott Mendleson, and he's kind of the troll of Forbes. Also, thank you so much, Jason Culture. Shout out for sending me this article. I hope I'm saying your name correctly on here. Oh, Lord. I shudder to think of the notion that we're going to have to spend the next year essentially rehashing the great cultural Ghostbusters war. Of course, if we could have a different outcome in 2020 than we did in 2016, specifically by electing whomever the Democrats run for president this time out, stop bringing fucking politics into it. It has nothing to do with it, you stupid son of a bitch. Oh, I hate these people. Then it would be swell, but I digress. It has nothing to do with who's running for president. And that was the mistake of Ghostbusters, was that it went too goddamn political. Even Democrats, some Democrats I know didn't like Hillary. There's a lot of Republicans who don't like Trump. So, okay, let's just get it over with. Politics have nothing to do with this. These fucking movies bring politics in when they have nothing to do with it. And then that's how they get the NPC masses to go in and complain about it on Twitter. They don't go see the movies, mind you, but no, they hashtag, they know how to do that because that's easier than actually getting off their ass and going and like either voting, seeing a movie, voting with your dollar for a movie. I totally understand why Leslie Jones is as upset as she is about Sony's new plans for Jason Reitman's Ghostbusters movie. No, I don't understand at all. I don't get it. She shouldn't be upset. She should be like, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not called back for the sequel. That means I look for another job. That is all she should be concerned about. Okay? That's it. However the movie turns out, it's not hard to view the film as a glorified rebuttal of the 2016 reboot and the relative victory for the very worst Ghostbusters fans. Why are you attacking Ghostbusters fans, you cocksucker? Seriously, Scott Mendleson. That turned the Paul Feig-directed all-lady reboot into a giant online talking point. No. Get your facts straight, son of a bitch. We turned this into a talking point because people like you with your fucking political agendas want to litter up movies that have nothing to do with politics. Okay, you can have an all-women Ghostbusters reboot. If it's done well, nobody would have complained, all right? This is where it started, where people started attacking fans just like this. And now you're dragging Star Wars, like the very worst Star Wars fans. What about the media? What about the media who's going out of their way to demonize people who buy the merchandise, who spend money on the movies? People like me. I still buy shit from Star Wars. Well, not so much anymore. Why? Why do you have to go out of your way to demonize people like this when you are just part of the problem? This is the toxic shill media at its worst. Again, and I get so tired of them saying the same narrative. And we all know it's bullshit, but you're going to have one or two people who just skim through this and they hear, oh, we're Ghostbusters fans. They complained and they bullied and they got a Ghostbusters reboot now. The Star Wars fans got a Ghostbuster. It's not even related. And yeah, there's a lot of crossover because there are a lot of people of the same age who grew up with the same things like me in the 80s with Ghostbusters and Star Wars and these things. We did grow up with this stuff. This is why we're passionate about it, because we're connected to it. It's especially true as being a black woman daring to exist online. Jones arguably got the worst of it. Sure, that big mouth bitch probably started a lot of it because I have only ever said anything bad about her because she started attacking us. I don't care what color skin she has. I don't care that she's a woman. I hear that she's being an insufferable bitch and trying to demonize and vilify, same thing as Scott Mendleson being an absolute cunt about it, vilifying people who just don't want a movie that's bad. Okay? And yeah, you're going to get a small percentage. I'm not saying that nobody has ever been racist to Leslie Jones on the internet. Seriously though, daring to exist online. How about maybe she should check herself before she starts going around attacking people like that. Maybe if she had more of a personality of, I'm a nice person, I'm not a toxic actress, maybe she might get a little less backlash. Same thing with a lot of these people. And I'm not saying like color of people's skin here. I'm talking like actors, actresses, Hollywood types, people like Rian Johnson, those type of people. So forget, don't you write angry, you're just a racist comment. No, I'm talking about people like white men, like Rian Johnson, do the same shit. They need to check themselves before they go online. Daring to exist online. You shouldn't exist, Scott Mendleson. But if this movie is able to have its cake, please the fans, and eat it too, offer something that isn't four middle-aged dudes making jokes and busting ghosts, then it might actually be a net positive for the Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones, and Kate McKinnon sci-fi improv linorama. That's what it is. It's not a comedy. It's improv linorama. That's all it is. They don't shut the fuck up during the whole thing. I'm probably going to be demonetized. I've been swearing a little bit. Sorry, this one really triggered me. Scott Mendleson can push my buttons, and he knows it. He knows it. Seriously, look at his face. He knows exactly what he's doing. I wrote last month about how Aquaman's blowout success allowed Zack Snyder's divisive Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice to no longer bear the burden of justifying an entire cinematic universe, and can now be judged, warts and all, as a standalone superhero opera that it otherwise would have been, to the extent that both movies came to define the cinematic online culture war in 2016. No, we have the canon wars and the culture wars now. We're in the thick of it. Also, stop stealing our stuff. Please, Scott Mendleson, stop stealing our lines. Next, you're going to hear Fandom Menace. That's another one. Or Canon Wars, or our shared cultural myths. That's another one you're going to steal from us, too, right? It is ironic that both films faltered, relatively speaking, because the studios released an inferior cut in theaters and kept the vastly superior version for the Blu-ray. No, I saw the extended cut of Ghostbusters 2016. It was more stupid fucking dancing and linorama bullshit. It was more Kristen Wiig being so awkward on screen I couldn't watch her, and more bashing the original Ghostbusters. Fuck Ghostbusters 2016. Sorry, it was terrible. Like Batman v Superman, which earned $839 million worldwide, Ghostbusters was tagged as a franchise-imperiling flop, despite selling quite a few tickets. Ghostbusters was the biggest grossing live-action comedy. It wasn't funny. You can't classify it as a comedy. Give or take the more superhero-y Deadpool, earning $26 million, $126 million domestic, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? And that was more than offhand Bad Moms, Central Intelligence, and Neighbors 2. The problem is that partially due to prior development costs, IP expenses, and whatever did or didn't happen on set, the film cost an absurd $144 million to produce. It looks great, but Sony was banking on an overseas interest in the Ghostbusters brand that wasn't there. No, because it's an American and British sort of thing, from what I can tell. A lot of it has to do, it's very much an 80s nostalgia thing. And yeah, completely different cultures. Japan, China, those places were completely different than America growing up in the 80s, I'm sure. I'm sure they were. Had its 126 domestic gross, 126 million domestic gross, led to a standard 35 out of 65 domestic overseas split, then it would have earned 360 million, and we probably would have gotten a sequel. But it lost 70 million for Sony and Friends, making a sequel absolutely out of the question. Well, maybe had they actually had a script. They needed a script. They needed to not improv linorama bullshit the whole thing. Stop for a second. Build some tension. There were a lot of problems with Ghostbusters 2016. Most of it was the fact that those women didn't shut up. Entire movie. Not a one of them. There's not one pause for dramatic tension. There's not, oh shit, that's a real ghost. Nothing. After creating Jurassic World was going the legacy sequel route with Ghostbusters was obviously the play. It's not a matter of rebuking the last Ghostbusters movie, but rather because the film was by itself reboot, which Sony's relative success with Casino Royale and Amazing Spider-Man aside may have been its biggest mistake. It cannot exist in the same universe as Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. Well, yeah, because they changed too much. Surely they could retcon the last film's continuity by making a new Ghostbusters 3, isn't about the last Ghostbusters flopping or the cultural sexism at play. It's about the likes of The Force Awakens showing Hollywood that legacy sequels was a much smarter play than a straight up reboot. Well, that is true. That is part of it. But you're titling this the trolling way so that people are going to assume that, okay, the sexism, blah, 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 and racists are making this movie. Whatever. Now you're saying that, you might make more money if you did it like Force Awakens. But guess what? People didn't like Force Awakens now that Last Jedi's come out, because that has kind of shot all over anything that was set up in Force Awakens. So making that comparison is kind of fucking stupid. You should probably be saying Cobra Kai, because that is a franchise that came back that actually pleased its fans. Because guess what? You've got all your toxic Ghostbusters fans that you like to bash on Scott Mendleson. So what is it? Now you're changing your mind 100% and saying, well, maybe it's not the sexism. Maybe it's all this. Scott Mendleson, you're just a shit writer. You're just a shit human being. Absent the toxic fan base, as opposed to the folks who just didn't like the movie, a failed reboot of Ghostbusters is a little different than Sony's failed remake of RoboCop and Total Recall. Yes, and stop saying with the toxic fan base, because we know that the media and the studios and the actors and actresses can sometimes be a lot more toxic than any of the fans. Seriously. That's like going into McDonald's and saying, hey, you messed up my order. I wanted a Big Mac and they gave me 3-day-old French fries. And well, you're still going to McDonald's, right? You still want McDonald's food. No, I want the Big Mac. I want the good thing. I want the expensive thing on the menu. I don't want the cheap day old shit. And that was why Ghostbusters and Star Wars basically are kind of sucking now. They're kind of sucking now. Then again, the Sony is making a new Ghostbusters sequel, one that will apparently feature 4 young kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, who get into an adventure that may or may not involve the original cast members. I assume Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson are showing up for sure. Isn't about erasing the last movie from existence. Fun fact, a reboot can't do that any more than a bad movie adaptation can erase a good book, or a fictionalized movie can retroactively change the real history. Well, tell that to Leslie fucking Jones. She certainly thinks that we're going to try and erase her movie, going to blink it out of existence. God, I wish we could. And I keep saying that. It's not going to make it go away. Sadly, I wish it would. Even after Spider-Man Homecoming, there are folks who still watch and enjoy The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Even though Edward Norton was replaced by Mark Ruffalo, fans and moviegoers still watch and enjoy The Incredible Hulk. Wow, he just keeps going and going and going, doesn't he? Okay, in conclusion, in that sense, a new sequel isn't a sword being wielded against the controversial female ensemble sci-fi comedy, but a shield that will allow it just to be a funny sci-fi comedy that happens to be about new Ghostbusters. That's what we've been saying. So, Trolly McTrollstein Scott Mendleson at it again. Now, so he's completely 180ing. He's actually trying to say something reasonable and intelligent here that, maybe the new Ghostbusters won't erase the shitty movie. Maybe we're not going to try and keep you from existing. What do you guys think? Are we all just still really pissed about Scott Mendleson? He does like to go out of his way to take a jab at the Star Wars fans in this. He does like to go out of his way to take a jab at the Ghostbusters fans even. I'm just tired of Scott Mendleson. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am MechaRandom42. I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!